Welcome to the Living Matters podcast, a space for entrepreneurs reparenting their inner child through human design while navigating business, grief, and healing from the inside out. I'm your host, Aypril Porter, ICF certified life and grief coach, human design expert, and author of Parenting the Child You Have. I've been an entrepreneur for over a decade, and I've lived through the burnout, the inner blocks, and the moments of wondering if I'm just too much or not enough. But through human design and reparenting, I found my way back to myself and learned how to build a business that supports my energy instead of draining it. Now I help other women do the same by healing the past, aligning with their true design, and leading from within. If you're ready to stop fixing yourself and start trusting who you already are, you're in the right place. Hi, and welcome back to the Living Matters podcast. I'm your host, Aypril Porter, and today I have Tena with me. Tena is a teacher, energy healer, writer, and scientist. Her journey led her through the full spectrum of emotional drama, the loss of a newborn baby, having a daughter with a disability, name just a few of the significant challenges she's faced. Through traumatic experiences, she learned all about heartbreak, fear, anger, helplessness, which are symptoms of playing a victim game, and she found the way out. Now she helps people who carry grief, resentment, or play out stories of suffering to break free from the victim mentality, release the drama, and ground themselves in sovereignty. Tena believes that when we change victim thought patterns, stories, beliefs, and values, we're ready for an amazing life because the world around us is our mirror. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, so I would love to just have you tell our listeners a bit more about your story because you've, shared some things here that are pretty significant as far as the big things in life that we often fear and so many of us actually end up living out. And so I love to help people understand, that if they are in that place where loss has happened to them and they feel despair or hopeless, that there is something on the other side of that. So maybe you could share a little bit more about your background.
Yes, well, I had a pretty good childhood and my learning years when I was young student. And my challenges started when I get married. And I gave birth to a little baby boy. He was so beautiful. And by giving birth to him, I experienced heaven. It's like my heart opened and I felt so blessed. I was so happy. I was flying around. I was so energized. And third day after he was born, um, I fell asleep, and at 3 a.m. I woke up. He was near me, and he was cold. I screamed, and he wasn't breathing. So that was pretty intense experience, and it felt like 1,000 knives being stabbed into my heart all at once. So I experienced heaven, a feeling of bliss, and in 3 days I experienced total opposite. I experienced how hell feels. And in that moment, the first thought that came into my head, oh, you strangled him, that I did something wrong, that I was the cause of you not breathing. Uh, and I felt guidance. It may sound strange, but in those critical moments, we are not alone. We can call it higher self, source, gods, angels. I felt the presence of invisible. And instead of going into self-blame, the voice said me, no, 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 it's not about you. It's not your fault. And the second thought was, oh, doctors, I wanted to blame someone for what I experienced, for my pain. Eventually, a doctor found that actually didn't find anything, so they said it was sudden infant death syndrome. A big question mark appeared under my head because at that moment I was finishing my PhD. I was fully into mainstream science, in theoretical approach. I believe that I know how world functions, but what happened with my baby? Why he died? That transformed me totally. So I let go of everything I learned, everything I knew about the world, and I started intensively search for why that happened. Because it means I don't know what happened. Sudden infant death means I don't know what happened. That was the beginning of my intense search. And after a few years, I gave birth to my daughter, and the second question mark appeared on, under my head because she developed in uterus TCNQ2 genetic mutation de novo. That means that neither me or my husband were carriers. Why? How is it possible that happened? Why? Big why. And those were two key points in my journey, in my life. And eventually, those experiences led me to find solution for my emotional state. I was in a pretty bad emotional state. It's a huge emotional intensity. At a scale from 0 to 10, it was like 100. But I remember I was worryless. I felt so light and free as I were I was a child, and I wanted to come back into that emotional state of lightness. I knew before. I knew that was possible. And the doctors were telling, no, it's not possible. What do you mean about being worryless? But so that's basically how my intensive journey toward in the field of spirituality began and led me to find and to realize that I played the victim game with myself, with my loved ones, and that we as a humanity are playing the victim game with each other, constantly switching between roles of victim, villain, and savior. And now I feel I'm living my purpose, and my purpose is to give people hand who are experiences the similar emotional intensities, are finding themselves struggling in life, to give them hand and to show them that it is possible to live free from suffering, from holding that what you once lose for the rest of your life and to
Yeah, and
have a good life. Yeah.
I think what you shared is so important because, you know, I talk to so many people about grief and loss, and I think one of the biggest things that we do is we go into that questioning of, could I have done more? Did I do the right thing? What if? And we spiral in this what if, trying to play out, well, if I'd only done this, or if I hadn't have gone there, would things be different? And it's so easy to fall into that pattern when we experience something significant like this, but also with some of the smaller things in life. We think, well, if I had just done this, then I wouldn't be on this career path that's not working, or whatever that is.
Yes, you're true. I met through my journey many people who struggled with grief, with loss, with self-blame the entire life, and I knew that something different is possible, and it is possible. And what helped me to break free from that victim mentality, to let go of my martyr story first, to realize that life is not happening to me. At some level, maybe the soul level, I agree to have experiences of loss, and of love because I learned what love is and I learned what loss is. It's total opposite. And we are living in a world of polarity. So we are not victims of our circumstances. I believe that's my major lessons to learn that I am not the victim of what I experience, that I am safe inside of myself. I don't need to have a proof, to have something outside of me first to feel safe. I believe that's my lesson. And I know it is possible to feel safe and feel free no matter what's happening outside of you.
So, was there a specific moment when you had that realization where things started to shift for you, or did it kind of gradually happen over time?
It happened gradually, but I remember two moments that actually catapult me from to leave my story. First is um, when my baby died, and that what happened with my daughter. I was hooked into my martyr mother story, and of course, I wanted to learn why that happened. So I researched many healing modalities. I learned a lot. Went to numerous workshops, and I remember telling me, teachers telling me, let go of your story. You know, my ego. How? But that happened to me. This story is true story. Let go of your story. And I didn't want to let go of my story. And the more I was stuck into my story, the more I was suffering. The life hit me so hard, so I actually needed to let go of my story or, to to disappear, to be swallowed by negativity, by my ego. Because why I didn't, now I realize why I didn't want to let go of my story, because I was big, I was important, I was a martyr, and people were telling me how brave you are, how strong you are. And I was hooked into that I'm better than others who suffered less than me. Okay. Now I know that dynamic, how it works. I wasn't aware of that back then, but I needed to let go of my story. That was the first thing. I needed to let go of my story. And the second thing is a moment when I realized, I remember as it was yesterday, how I turned from the savior role, how I turned into the villain. Later, I found out about the victim game and how that dynamic goes. Here is what happened. My daughter was crying and crying and crying and crying, and no matter what I did, worked. As much as I tried, to soothe her, nothing worked. And in one moment, out of despair, helplessness, hopelessness, I was so much in pain. And I said, oh, just shut up. I want to throw you out the window, and I just left the room. Later, I realized that was the moment I switched the role from a savior to a villain. And now I understand. I know what should happen so mothers hurt their children. I understand people who turn into villains. I understand. And what is important, very important, don't fight the villains. Love them. So I turned into inside, and I loved. I gave compassion to a wounded part of me, to a hurtful child. Hurtful child is that villain we perceive outside of us.
So, I think that every parent has reached a point where they were just exasperated and didn't know what to do and were overwhelmed. And then there are those stories where parents have taken it too far, right? They've turned into that villain and taken it too far. And to pull back and to realize that you needed to love on this part of yourself, that takes a lot of self-awareness. And I'm wondering, like, how would you talk to somebody who is not that self-aware? How would you break through to them or help them to maybe open that door to see that there is another way?
Well, first of all, I I wait if someone asks me to. I'm not going to into what I did before from a savior role, wanted to change other person, wanted to impose my belief, my point of view. I learned that it doesn't work. When I'm in a relationship with those people, when I'm in communication, I simply listen with open heart. I listen. There is no point for me to give you advice if you didn't ask for advice. And by the way, when we give advice to someone who didn't ask, we are losing our energy. That creates energy leak from our field. So I realize that we are all beings and equally powerful as divine beings who decided to have experience what we decided. And who am I to interfere with your experience if you didn't ask me? Okay, so
Yeah, and I would say that from human design, which is, a lot of what I do, this is it's such a great example and description of like waiting for the invitation. So the projector waits for the invitation, but there's also all of these elements in our charts that are projected elements. And I think it applies to most anybody, that if somebody's not asking, it's not our responsibility to go in and try and fix or save.
indeed, you're right. And the only thing I can do is to share my experience from my point of view. You have your experience. Others have their own experiences, and we have different point of views on experiences, and that's something what creates beauty in our world, in humanity, because we are unique, we are same, only different. We are from the one source, but authentic expression of one source. And of course, we respect that.
So tell me how you came up with this framework that you use.
Within game framework, um, well, that framework, I realized the whole humanity is stuck in, you know, is the structure of 3D fear-based victim consciousness. I learned it. I researched many scientific literature, many experts on that field, and it resonated me. It resonated with me, and it seemed so logical. I experienced, exactly turning into villain. And when I learned about that Cartman's triangle, victim, villain, savior, oh wow, that's it. And I see those patterns everywhere in a collective, particularly when we were in, Corona time, and, how we switch the roles between victim, villain, and savior. I see it in myself. When I talk with people, I see, I see that everywhere. So I feel it is true. And by using that framework, I know how, let's say, client leaks energy. I know because I know how victim thinks, how victim behaves, how victim feels, victim role. I know how villain feels, thinks, and behaves, and as well savior. So I learned that, and I learned that to recognize in me, in others, in the world. So this framework works because it's true. And that's the reason why I use that framework.
Yeah. So I know we talked a little bit before we started recording today that we want to bring kind of an example of this to listeners. So, we were talking about business and how in business, a lot of entrepreneurs suffer from, well, actually, just I would say people in general, not just entrepreneurs. I think that we almost all of us have money stories that we carry, and these money stories limit us, especially in business, from charging our worth to setting boundaries to feeling like we are able to receive. And there's just so many ways that that shows up. And so you had offered to walk us through what that would look like if we were kind of working with the money story. And I'm wondering if you would be open to doing that now.
Okay, yes. Well, I can show you a short group energy clearing on money leaks and blind spots that prevents us from receiving and sustaining ourselves with abundance. So here is how it works. I close my eye or look somewhere. Just take a deep breath. Now we are connecting with the light. Now, okay, just allow the light from source, your higher self, to pour into your crown, clearing everything that prevents you to be yourself. Okay, all energies, all roles you played, all victim, villain, savior role to all lifetime states in this realities. Now all that concept being cleared, light clear, light clear, light clear. The light is pouring through your brain, rewiring nervous system into sovereignty. Okay. Clearing eyes so you can see clearly beyond the veil of victim consciousness, clearing ears. The light is pouring through your throat, through your chest. You can relax now. You can relax your shoulders. There is no need to hold the burden, to hold others, because others are equally powerful as you are, as we all are, because we are all divine beings. Okay, like is flowing through your chest, through your spine, through your hips, knees, and we are connecting with the crystalline heart of Mother Earth, and her loving, kind energies bounce it back to us. Now we are setting the intention to clear anything that creates minor blockages, that every value, thought, belief that blocks abundance to come into our life, to be a conduit for money, for abundance, just to flow through us and to us. Okay, okay, and everything that prevents us, just clear. Okay, just take the breath, and we are starting with the compassion key. That's self-directed compassion in the third person. You can just, in your mind, repeat after me. I'm so sorry you choose to believe that spiritual service shouldn't be tied to money. Okay. And by the way, I'm combining some techniques. So this is short clearing. So we'll just accelerate that. So everywhere we hold in our field a value of purity, humility, that detachment that creates inner conflict. Okay, so everywhere we give deeply but resist receiving. So income never stabilizes, like clear, like clear, like clear. And now we are reframing that belief. I recognize that money is a neutral conduit that allows service to keep circulating. I recognize money is neutral, allows service to keep circulating. Like cool. Okay, so everywhere recall the belief. If it is easy, if it flows easily, it's not valuable. Just focus on your heart and say, I'm so sorry you choose to believe that if it flows easily, it's not valuable. Like it, underneath there is the value of hard work as a proof of integrity. I'm so sorry, you choose to believe that hard work is the proof of your integrity, like, okay? So everywhere you feel tension, just allow it to dissolve. So everywhere we overgiving, underpricing, experience exhaustion, exhausting our field, our energy, and as effect, experiencing resentment. So all resentment, everywhere we resent each other, like clear all their energy out of conflict, clearing contracts, clearing light clear, light clear, light clear. And by the way, when I warn that something is releasing. Okay, so now we are reframing that belief. Ease is efficiency. Ease is not laziness. It is very important to know that ease is not laziness, ease is efficiency. We recognize now that our nervous system performs best in regulated and resources. Okay, and now we are scanning our field where we hold the belief I must help everyone. Okay, like clear, where we leak energy by holding on to that belief. So we are now clearing that belief. So everywhere we experience diffuse focus, unpaid time, and burnout energy. Burnout, like clear, awful, clear, clear, clear. Okay, so, and now we are reframing. Service is most effective when targeted. Clear boundaries increase impact and sustainability. I recognize that my clear boundaries increase impact and sustainability. There is also belief that receiving abundance makes me selfish or materialistic. I recognize that I choose to believe that receiving abundance makes me selfish and materialistic. It's just a belief, and now we can choose differently. Healthy receiving models balance. It shows others that giving and thriving can coexist. I recognize that giving and thriving can coexist. Okay. So everywhere we concluded that we are not good with numbers. I'm not good. I recognize I'm not good with number. Okay, all that belief now. Identifying, locating, and clearing from our field. So everywhere we experience the financial dissociation, avoiding bank accounts, pricing, agreements, that can be a lot, particularly for caregivers, for teachers, spiritual people, like clear. Okay, so now we are reframing that. Numeracy is another language of energy. Tracking inflow and outflow keeps our intuition informed by data. Light clear, light clear, light clear. Okay, and there is also belief the more I charge, the fewer I will help. Okay, I recognize that I choose to believe the more I charge, the fewer I will help. So value, everywhere we hold the value of accessibility and inclusivity, but to the cost to our own energy. Okay, so now we are clearing that. Okay, and everywhere we experience chronic underpricing, financial stress, limited capacity to actually serve. Okay. And now we are reframing that fair pricing funds pro bono work and long-term contribution. Sustainability expands reach. Okay, like right now, okay, so now we are clearing all blind spots related to receiving money is to distort my signal. Like if I charge for my gift, I become them. If I open to abundance, I invite manipulation. Better to starve than sell what is sacred. Okay, all that from our field through all lifetime space dimension realities now being cleared. Okay, just take a deep breath. Now we are releasing the wall of poverty. Okay. I choose to release the vow of poverty now. I recognize that I'm releasing the vow of poverty in every cell in my being. Okay, now I allow fair exchange, right exchange to find me. Okay, I am safe. I recognize that safety comes from within. I am abundant. I recognize that I, what I believe is what I perceive. I choose to believe that abundance is safe, money is safe, money is good. Mhm. My gifts are ready to be received, sustained, and supported. Just take a deep breath. Now we are grounding all these new belief systems. When we know, we recognize that we are the one who choose what we believe, and we recognize we are divine in every cell in our being. Okay. So ground, 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 ground. Okay. Well, that was just it was just a short sharing. Okay, just allow your body to settle, to ground, and everything that is still present, still tension, just allow it to dissolve. Mhm. I am safe. I recognize I am safe. I am relaxed. I recognize that my safety comes from my relaxation. Yeah, the more relaxed I am, the safer I am. The more relaxed I am, the more abundant I am. I allow abundance to come to me and through me, and so it is.
Thank you for sharing that. I feel like you hit so many of those beliefs that limit us. As you were going through some of them, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's one I recognize. Oh, I recognize that one too."
It's just a small piece. There's so huge amount of beliefs. We are not aware of huge amount of blind spots. But there is a good thing. One good thing is that outer reality is showing us a blind spot, specifically when we feel triggered by something, by someone, or whatever that happened from outside. That's our inner, outside physical reality is showing us what we believe, what we hold within.
Reflection of what's
Yes.
inside.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when you work with people, do you work one on one or do you work in group containers? What does that look like?
I work also one on one. I have a 40-minute sessions, and I also work with groups. I have group energy clearing where we have specific topic. This was just a taster for a topic related to money. I research topic, and then we have a short learning part, and then group energy clearing, and after that, mini one-on-one clearing session where people can raise hands and receive clearing live. It works like this. You think about something, situation, person, or whatever that triggers you, that creates the emotional intensity when you think about it. Then we start the process. I use self-directed compassion and this kind of spiritual acceleration or combination of many techniques. It's basically not just self-directed compassion. And self-directed compassion is awesome. I experienced a lot of changes in my life with self-directed. Your higher self is giving compassion to wounded part of you. I'm so sorry you're sad. So you're telling in the third person, giving compassion for that what you experience in your life. And first, you scale your intensity from 0 to 10, 10 the highest. And after the process, you scale it again. And when it's significantly lower or gone, then, you know, that's it. That's how I work. We
Okay.
scale. I love to have a measurement because I have a scientific background. So I love
Yeah.
to know if it works or not for a person
Yeah.
and the group.
Yeah, and I think that we all need that too because, it's so easy. I mean, we could look at like, what did I eat for lunch yesterday? I don't remember. And so, it's like when we feel discomfort, that's all we focus on, right? Like when we feel like we're in pain or suffering in some way, that's all we can focus on. But then when we are alleviated of that, we often forget how bad that felt when we were in it. So to put a number on it is really helpful because it's like, oh, I started at a 9 and now I'm at a 3. Like that's significant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And at the end, you're neutral. Now I shared my story with my newborn and with my daughter, and from the place of neutrality, but I couldn't do that before because I felt grief, I fall apart, cried. Now I'm ready, and because I feel neutral toward that, I know I integrated it.
Yeah. It's not like you got rid of the memories, you just released the emotional charge from it.
Indeed, memory stays and learning, teachings, what I learned from my experience stays. And now I can see a big picture. But back then, when I was in trauma, I was like this. I couldn't see a big picture. I was in pain. So I couldn't consider everything that is not my pain because I was so much in pain. And now it's much, much better. And yes, yes, it is possible. It is possible to free yourself from drama.
Well, thank you for walking us through that. I think that that was really helpful for people to see and hear. Can you tell us a little bit more about your upcoming? Um, I think you have a program coming up, right?
Yes, yes, I'm
Okay.
so excited. It starts 23rd of October. I call it authentic face rejuvenation. Recently, I was interested about, body and how, what is the cause of wrinkles and all that body stuff and why people,
Frowning.
yeah, 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 yeah. And because we are all energy, crystallized energy, we carry beliefs. So I started to research what should I believe to have these wrinkles in my face and how what else is possible if I let go of that beliefs, you know, and so that's my new program, and basically it's about authentic face. So you can be more authentic, and the physical appearance changes in your physical appearance is just a side effect. The key point is to allow yourself to be authentic, so others can see your face. If we carry imprint of oh, it's hard work, worry. Look, it shows in your face. So I'm so happy about it. It's a 4-week program, 4 modules, and I also prepared the bonus for attunements. Um, I recorded that attunements. It's a meditation, energetic attunements into that's something what is opposite from a victim game. It's attunement into 5D sovereignty consciousness. First is safety. The more relaxed I am, the safer I am. Because in a 3D victim consciousness, if I get this, I will feel safe. So if my car breaks, I am not safe anymore. So we are fight, flight, or freeze mode because it's fear based, no? So the more relaxed I am, the safer I am. That's first achievement. And the second is the safer I am, the more I trust myself and the world and people around me. Trust. And from trust, the third achievement, from trust comes perfect, divine timing. I trust. that everything works out for me, that I'm at the right time, at the right place. So what it means, the more relaxed I am, the more at the right time, at the right place I am. And the fourth attunement, I'm at the right time, at the right place. I feel impulse for the right action. It's not forcing 3D fear-based consciousness, victim consciousness. It's forcing. I have to. And this sovereignty consciousness, 5D abundance is allowing, and you feel the impulse, and you automatically do the action. So these bonus attunements are meant to rewire the whole nervous system that relaxation is safety. The more relaxed we are, the safer we feel. So no matter what's happening outside, we are safe. And of course, the outer reality reflects, mirrors us back what we believe. So that's bonus. And I'm so happy and very excited to have that.
I can see your excitement and it sounds amazing. If people want to sign up for that, where can they go to sign up?
On my website, tenacacic.com, I have listed this new program. And every month, at the end of month, we have a monthly masterclass. It's 90-minute clearing call, learning, clearing, and mini one-on-one call. We work on different topics. This I think that this month's topic is something about receiving. I have to check. So everything is presented in my website. And if you want maybe not ready for that, or if you don't resonate at this particular moment, maybe this program is not for you, you can sign to my mailing list and you will get a free ebook, Victim Game Uncovered, where you will learn how victim thinks, feels, and acts, victim, villain, and savior. You will find many examples from the real life, and you will also get an email course in a bit-sized chunks, victim game uncovered from real life situation. And I send mails, short stories about victim game, because the victim game is my major topic, simply because our world is fear-based victim consciousness mainstream, and now we are just bridging that, going into 5D sovereignty abundance consciousness. So everything is in tenatatis.com.
Amazing. Well, this is amazing work, and I'm so excited that you came and shared it with us today. We'll put all your links in the show notes. Hopefully, people will reach out to you and join you in that program. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much, and I really appreciate your work, and thank you for everything you do with the human design. I subscribe to your mailing list and I received my report, and it enlightened me. So thank you for that.
Thank you. All right. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time.